Hi, welcome back to Gang Green, everyone.
Hey, everyone.
We're
What's
here
up?
this week having a great time just, doing the podcast and getting back into the swing of things and getting it right and talking. But, today I wanted to talk about scammers, right? Because this is something that I think is seriously affecting our generation and just people in general. I mean, scams have always affected people since the beginning of time, Adam and Eve being tricked to eat the fruit of knowledge. But there's always been scams. So, but now it's like I feel like everyone's a scammer.
Why do you feel that way?
Because there's just so many, like, not literally everyone, but everyone is like trying to scam, bro. And there's always like an incentive, and there's always another like, oh, buy this. You want this? You got to buy this, and then sign up for this, and then subscribe to this, and then, you know what I mean? It's like there's too much. It's a scam.
I see that
People
a lot
are scam artists, and then there's literally scams, money scams, these Cash App scams.
On TikTok, it's
send me
crazy.
500 and we'll do a scam. We'll do a pyramid scheme.
Not even that. It's like on TikTok, like scam companies will sponsor certain people, and they'll put in their comments like, "Oh, I played this game and you'll win money," and shit like that.
Or they add you to a scam group where they forex trading. You know what I'm talking about? Like, oh, I have the best traders and shit.
Yeah.
It's like, man.
There's a fucking Bible about it. There's a whole book teaching you how to scam.
Like, just fucking. Why you gotta do that? You know what I mean? Like, let people be genuine. And I know we live in a very fake society, so of course people aren't genuine. People aren't true to themselves. But being true to yourself is the greatest weapon you could ever have. So why wouldn't you want to be true to yourself? Why would you want to scam and cheat people? And it's like all that's going to come back to you.
It's when you get lost in your pursuit for success.
All that's going to come back.
Your morals.
Yeah, but it's like, man, that's what it's like.
It is.
That visual,
like
audio sound.
If you don't understand it, then all you could really do is just sigh at it, I guess.
Yeah, so my personal story, what I want to talk to you about. I got an email from Geek Squad. Now, if you know Geek Squad, it's a Best Buy repair company. But I haven't fucking went there in years, and I haven't bought anything from Geek Squad for them to be contacting me. So I'm like, what the fuck? And the name is weird, too. It's like Boris Cumberbatch. Some weird shit. Like, very, like, a fake name. You know what I mean? It's a very obviously fake shit. So they text me, and they're like, oh, here's the invoice number for the service you paid for. It was $336. And here's your invoice number and your order number. And then when I first read it, I was like, just what the fuck? Like, I didn't pay for that. So then they gave you a number. So I called the number. Fucking Indian guy picks up the phone. And he's like, hello, I am from Geeka Squad. That's how he said it. I'm not being offensive. It's literally how he said it. And I was like, yo, I didn't, how'd you get my email? Like, I didn't contact you guys. And then he would just kept saying he's from Geek Squad. And playing, the music when you're on hold. Playing that music. And so I'm like, okay, it's obviously a scam. So then I give it some time, though, and then they send me another email telling me, oh, we charge you this much, which I know is bullshit, but I'm looking now, and then I finally found out the scam. So here's how the scam works. So they send you the email, then you call them, because you're like, what the fuck? That's what they want you to be. Like, that's the exact reaction they want out of you, for you to be like, what the fuck, when you open your email. So you could call them, then you give them the invoice number. You give them the invoice number, right? Then they can hack into all your shit. They can get your credit card information. They can get your social security. All they need is that invoice number, because hacking has got so sophisticated, you don't even need much anymore. You know what I mean? You do not need much at all to hack somebody. And it's like, that shit happened to me. But you know what? I felt really good that I could identify. Like, as soon as he said, what's the tracking number or whatever the fuck, I just hung up. I knew right there. I'm like, oh. I know exactly how this works because I've dealt with this shit before. But it just sucks because there's people that will fall prey to that. You know what I mean? Imagine someone struggling that try to make ends meet to pay rent and fucking feed themselves, and they get that email and they're like, oh my god, what the fuck, like I'm gonna lose that money, and they call and they go through the process and then they get fucking scammed. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I feel like they don't really care. They don't care because chances are they're that exact same way. But that's what they're doing to make their ends meet. So like, when you're like in that poor mindset, you know, it's the same mindset that you have when you like rob people.
Survival instincts kick in.
But
And it's more of a, you know, I gotta eat too.
yeah,
Thing. Like the Punisher. You should have seen the clip of the Punisher where he tries to sell the Punisher porn.
yeah, I said that.
Yeah, like child porn, and then he's like, I'm just trying to make $1. You know, but you can't. There's ways to go about it.
Yeah, there's much better ways.
But of course, we live in a world that
And that's another
favors
thing.
negativity
Like,
for whatever reason.
you can have a job, and you also scam. But scamming, like, is just easier. So they just choose the easier option than like actually having a job, or even some like the scam will make them more money.
Fucking Breaking Bad, bro.
People like, yeah, that's perfect.
That's the perfect analogy. It's
'Cause
like an extreme example.
Walt only needed like
But it's a good example.
$749,000, and he ended it with
Yeah.
like $80 million.
Yeah.
But he sacrificed his life.
Yeah, exactly. And then it wasn't worth it, and he lost everything. He lost what he set out to protect, which is his family. And it's a reflection of how we in life, like, we try to pursue things and greatness and success and wealth, but it pushes us away from our loved ones, and it lets it's an extreme example of that, of course, but you know, it does show that, and that's something all people, I feel, go through that are trying to get somewhere in life, because you know, we got to work, and working is ultimately giving our time, because time is money, and it's an equal exchange. Like, you can't have time and money. You know, you got to sacrifice your time for money.
Let me ask you a question. Do you feel like current society is more they're raising the standard of living, but it's all in their head, because
Right.
people inflate what they need with what they want.
Exactly. Because literally we don't need much. You know, I know humans are picky, and you know, we have our differences and our likes and dislikes and our opinions, but ultimately we don't need much. You just need some clean water, some food that's fresh, some air, some sun.
A nice place to live at.
Yeah.
You don't need a mansion. You don't need a fucking nice car.
Right.
Well, it's nice to have, obviously.
Yeah, and then people get caught up in that, and it's like this line Tupac said, like, how do you have a mansion with 50 rooms and there's someone without one? You know, it's cause sort of like superfluous. So you get to that point. Sure, you say they earned it, but even if you earned it, it's like, use that and give back. It's like they come up and then they just want to keep going up, and fuck the people at the bottom, fuck the people trying to come up. You know,
Yeah.
it's
Or
a whole
even
thing.
like just people that I feel like it's a more common, not common. I feel like it's a common thing with women now, where women seek men that they say that they want to live comfortably, right? And comfortably is like $60,000 a year. But if you were to tell them that, they're like, that's not comfortable. Well, it is. But what they view as comfortable was like, oh yeah, we could go on vacation every month and travel
They
the
want
world
luxury.
and fucking live in a nice big house,
They want luxury. Yeah,
Have
what do they have to offer?
nice clothes, nice jewelry, and men do the same thing, because men will do what Walter White did. You know what I'm saying? They'll,
Break bad.
well, I don't know, yeah, but not in the same way, obviously. Men will fucking not look at what they have, and they'll only look at what they can
The
get.
material.
They'll only
Right.
look at what they can get. It's not what they have right now, and not be grateful for it.
Right.
They'll never be satisfied.
Yeah, women do that too, though.
Everybody does.
Of course. But then I feel like it's also a thing where sometimes you're satisfied with what you have, but like you're not. It's like one person could be satisfied, but other people aren't satisfied with you. You know what I'm saying? So your definition of happiness doesn't equate to other people. And then it's like, they're like, oh, why aren't you doing what everyone else is doing? Like, why are you not doing that? You know, there's a set.
You notice that with parents a lot.
Exactly. There's a set path to follow. So follow the path.
You can have like a
set
job.
For you.
You can have like a like parents, like let's say parents that want you to be like a doctor or something.
Right.
But you end up getting a cool job. You're like working IT and you make like $80,000 a year. And then, but your parents are like, why aren't you a doctor? You could be making 150,000,
right.
200,000, blah blah blah. And you're like, I'm good. And like, no, there's no. In their head, they don't see it. They're like, how could you be good with $80,000?
Right. Like the money is. I don't know. I feel like just people are too attracted to money. They don't realize it's just a energy exchange. It's just a currency. It's just a number. Literally, it's just a number. It's just ones and zeros and all types of numbers and digits. That's all it is. It's not like fucking God. It's not clean water. It's not food. It's not a fucking beautiful meal that you sit down and eat. It's not it's not love. It's just energy. It's, I can buy this because I have this amount of energy. It's like a fucking game. It's like your experience points. Yeah. You know,
your high score.
Right, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that. It's money is not evil, just people corrupt it and they make it evil.
I'm not saying don't seek to make a lot of money. I'm just saying like make sure it's what you want to do, you know, and don't conflate it with
don't just seek the money because you won't be happy.
Don't
ever.
conflate it with what you need. Like, I need to do this.
Yeah.
If you want to do it, go do it, man. Like, all the power to you. Go do it.
Yeah, you're never going to be happy just chasing money because there's other things, there's other pursuits in life. Like, you know, you have to get in touch with not only yourself, but your surroundings and the people around you.
And then you get insufferable people that are like, oh, that's a broke mentality, bro. Like, that's a like I can't
like the
be,
Sigma male grind set.
I can't be making $80,000 a year, bro. I want to be in fucking what's it called? I want to be in Dubai driving a Lamborghini with like 2 models sucking my cock at the same time, like shit like that. I'm like, bro, do you really like?
Good for
that?
you.
Like, you could do it. Cool, bro. Like, but like to call someone else to look at someone lesser because they don't want that for themselves. It's a like they build a world in their head where they're like above people because they're like, yeah, I'm not a sheep. I'm making my own money, blah blah blah. But like the guys, they're satisfied, and you're not satisfied. You're still chasing.
Yeah, exactly. And then they use that as like, they flex, and basically that's what people do. They flex, but it's not. It's like a defense mechanism almost.
Yeah, flexing is almost like a cry for approval.
Yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, especially when it comes to money, because there's a difference between things in life that you earn and accumulate over time through knowledge, wisdom, and experience, and like someone flexing like, oh yeah, I scammed and did Forex trading, and now I made money off of that. It's like, okay,
well, Forex trading,
you
is
hopped
cool.
on a fucking trend. You know what I mean? But on some of the people that scam with that shit, like, you know, the pyramid scheme shit, MLM structure, like invite 2 of your friends, that type of shit.
My dad almost got in that shit.
Exactly.
My dad's friend that he hasn't talked to in a while tried to get him to do that. He was like, oh yeah, blah blah blah.
Because they make you desperate, and then that's the whole fucking scheme.
And then my dad asked me, well, my dad is smart, so he doesn't fall for that shit. And my dad is like, Eddie, this guy is calling me, like talking to me about this thing, and I look at it, I'm like, that's bullshit.
Right.
I look up the company, and it went through like 3 different names, and it's been like sued before and everything. I'm like, that's bullshit. And he's like, yeah, I had a feeling, but I checked with you because you was like into it, so I just want to check with you.
Yeah,
about
there's
it.
a lot. It's not even just that industry and stocks. Like, there's food companies that do that. There's clothing companies that do that same exact business structure.
Your own people will try to get you into it.
You're self-employed, but really, you gotta sell their shit and you don't get any profit. Like, you make money, but you don't make money. until you put more people on. That's how the main way you make the revenue is by promoting and sharing and getting other people on.
How do you feel about like the referral shit, like what Matt does?
Well, I like that. I think that's actually a really creative and good way for people to not only expand their knowledge of finance and also create another revenue stream, because they say if you want to be a millionaire or a billionaire, I think it is, you need like 7 different revenue streams. So I think that's a great way of like you don't have to do that as an occupation, but it's like, hey, I can use this app, and if I share with my friends, like I get some money and they get money too. Like what? That's free money. Basically, it's not free because nothing is free, but it's
very easy.
Basic money.
Very
easy. It's not I need to go fucking bust my ass working money.
It's not easy money. It's not I have to pave the roads.
Right. I gotta fucking
construct the
burn
building.
myself with the hot coal in the fucking mines.
I gotta fucking stand out in the fucking 90-degree weather doing hard labor.
Yeah. It's sign up for Chime.
Yeah, sign up for Chime. Oh, cool.
Use my referral code. I put it in the description. But yeah,
I wanted to do that, but I gotta get proof of address.
Yeah, some of them are like wonky. They require more. But I think it's a good way for people to make money easily.
I was worried about that because I didn't want, because I told Matt, I don't have proof of address because I just moved. I didn't want him to be like thinking like, oh, this nigga just don't want to help.
Right. Nah, but you know what? A lot of people are like that.
That's when I just met him though. I didn't know him like
No. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying a lot of people.
I'm just saying that like that's the mentality that I had because I just met him.
Right, but yeah, but I'm just saying though, like other people that even though people or he knows, or like when you refer people, like them, you're cool, they trust you, or to a degree, they trust you at some level. But they don't want to do it because they feel like it's a scam. Because when it comes to money, people are very like stupid. Like I'm sorry, like it's not sorry to say the word, but like they look at it as like a fucking precious resource of life, like water. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god, like I gotta deposit $200. I might lose $200. Like you're not gonna lose the money. It's a bank. It's just depositing. It's just moving money. This is what millionaires do. They have accounts. They have accounts in other countries. They have accounts in other fucking banks. This is what they do. This is what you do with money. You move it. You exchange it. People just want to sit and hold on to their money. And I get you're struggling, but you're going to stay. It's that poverty mentality. You're going to stay struggling if you don't take that money, take that energy, and reinvest it and use it. Use it to make more money.
Saving your money makes you lose money.
Because yes, and especially now
with inflation.
The recession we're in, they just keep going up and up and up and up. The money you have is literally getting more and more useless as you fucking have it. Even though you have it and it's there, it says whatever amount it is, it's getting more and more worthless every day. So you might as well go buy some goods, buy some services, buy things that you like and that matter and that could be investments or not, but do something with it because it's just sitting there. It's doing nothing.
It's like when you're like playing a game and you have like a good item and you never use it. You don't want to use it because you're like, I gotta wait for the right time, and then you never end up using it.
It's like in fucking Breath of the Wild when all your shit breaks in the game, so you don't want to use all the cool weapons.
Yeah.
But it's like you gotta use the cool fucking weapons because you earned them, but they're gonna break. But that's the whole game of it. Yeah, exactly. Because you'll find better ones, and the whole lesson of it is exchange money, treat money the same way you would your body. Like keep in movement. The more things move, the better they'll go. You know what I mean? Obviously, too much movement is not good, but find the balance. Be able to say, okay, I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to be able to take this money and just hold it and just look at it, and then I'll put it onto this. Or I'll buy this product, and then I'll use that to make something or provide a service to people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or even if you make a wrong call with it while investing or anything like that, it's not a waste because you're learning. You're learning how to do it, and you got to make mistakes to learn.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we make mistakes, man, because we need to learn. It's not just like we make mistakes because, fucked up. But then that's what society wants us to feel like. That's what we're programmed to think, like, oh, you fuck up, so keep fucking up. Just keep fucking up because you already fucked up. It's too late. When really it's never too late. Just learn from what the fuck you have. Like, learn from the horrible experience or bad experience. It doesn't have to be horrible, just unpleasant. Learn from that, move forward, do better. That's it. That's all you can do. Because if you stay stuck and you get depressed and you give up, that's all it fucking is. That's all you can only move forward. It's like literally like time. Like how you perceive time is linear. It just keeps moving forward. You can't just stop being in time. You know what I mean? It just keeps going.
Yeah.
So use the time you have while you're here. Do the best you can, what you got.
Use what you have.
Facts. Because we have power, man, as human individuals. And people don't want us to wake up to that we have individual power and we can really say something because we have a voice and we have artistic and intuition and love, really, like we can express love. That's an amazing thing that we're gifted with, and that gets bogged down by these lower energy emotions like anger and pain and stuff are like very easy because they're very primal. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, and you said talking with more women, you're starting to understand this more, and it's like, yeah, like the emotional aspect of it. That's why women get like angry.
We're told to fear that. We're told to fear being emotional because it makes us look weak, or like
especially as men.
Yeah, as well, almost fucking exclusively as men, we're told that being emotional makes us look weak. But as like you mature, you start to realize like it's just part of being a human being.
Exactly.
Like, are you happy hiding your emotions, being in fear? Like, if anything, that's less masculine. Being in fear of showing your emotion.
To deny that is to deny a large part of the human experience.
Yeah. You're afraid of like being your true self. Like,
yeah.
And if you think like, oh, my partner will not like me anymore if I show my true self, I'm like, should you really be with that person?
Right.
If they're gonna shame you.
Yeah, it's like maybe that's not the one for you.
And
if you feel fear, you shouldn't feel fear.
Yeah,
for something your partner's gonna do if it's not something wrong on your part.
We're obviously not saying that like every time you feel sad you need to cry, you need to bawl your eyes out, let it all out. Obviously, there's a certain level of discipline where you got to be aware of what you're feeling,
right?
But also
you got to be able to look at yourself from a third person perspective and say, okay, why
you can be sad without
I'm mad.
You can be sad without crying.
Why am I mad? Like, what the fuck? Like, what triggered this? What do I do?
Yeah.
What now? Instead of just saying, "I'm fucking,
I'm mad. I'm gonna punch someone."
Yeah, because that testosterone and that rage just boils, and then you can just go crazy.
I'm gonna swipe everything off of this desk.
Yeah, that's not the way to go, man. Peace. The more calm you are, the more mastery you have of your dominion. Just need to remain calm, which is difficult, and we're always exposed and always stimulated now, which we talked about last time, but it's just so true. Like,
I noticed that
so many distractions. Like, you wake up and it's just your phone is just here's this, here's that,
you want to be on your phone,
here's fucking this and this and that and this and then by the time you look up and you're like, where'd the time go? What the fuck was I looking? Like, it's subconscious. The really like dark part of TikTok and Reels and YouTube Shorts and all this short form content, because there's good parts of it. It's like more people have a platform now. You can make easier videos. You can use easier technology to do it, you know, easier editing. So there's benefits to it, but in terms of how it affects your brain and just your subconscious, I think it's really fucking bad.
Man,
Like, we don't realize it.
you just gotta be how it is. Like,
We don't fucking realize it though,
You gotta
because
be
we're just
aware.
looking at it.
that's the thing. That's the hardest part, is being aware in the first place.
And then cutting yourself off.
Because once you're aware, it's from that point on, you
Right.
know what to do. But you gotta take off the blinders.
You got to be consistent with it.
Yeah.
Because
So
when
that's
you're
also
inconsistent, yeah,
hard.
exactly.
Like the discipline.
Right, it's building up that discipline and saying consistently, okay, I'm not gonna look at my phone. I'm not gonna wake up and check my phone.
I need to work on that.
I'm not gonna wake up and check my, like, even if it's the first hour. Like, I've been trying that now
That's
recently.
progress.
You feel so much better on those
Yeah.
days. You feel so much better.
Or even like something like, you know, like every time I eat, I like
Yeah.
to like watch a YouTube video. But
Right.
now, instead of that, just eat in silence.
Right. Sometimes, yeah, man. Sometimes you just need to and just enjoy your meal and just
Yeah.
fucking sit
Actually
there.
focus on what you're eating.
Right, instead of trying to stimulate yourself so many different ways. And, you know, but it's just, I feel like it's accessibility, because we have the option to do that. It's like, why not do that, right?
True.
But that's like the whole freedom thing. You have so much freedom of choice. But it's interesting because when you choose to be disciplined and do the same thing and be consistent, that's when you actually get results and start building. It's so weird because we have freedom to do whatever, so you would think I could do whatever I want. So I'm going to do. It's like when you're a little kid and you want to do adult shit, and the adults are like, no, don't do that. You can't do that. It's not for little kids. It makes you want to do it more. It's like, oh, I want to do that now. And then you're doing it as an adult, and then you're like, oh shit, like, you know, it wasn't all that. Like, it was good, but it's good and not in the same way that when you're a kid and they're telling you not to do something, how enticing it sounds.
I want to switch the subject actually, because you said talking about the There's anything else you want to say?
Keep going.
Yeah. All right. So you talking about I don't know why, but you talking about the adults like telling the kid that you can't do these certain things and that those aren't kid things. I don't know why, but in my head it made me want to ask you about how do you feel about like overbearing parents?
What, like when they want too much?
No, overbearing, like super strict.
Oh.
No freedom.
Oh. Well, it's not something I dealt with personally as much, because my mom was strict, but to a point, like, she was cool, she is cool.
She was strict about the right things.
Right, exactly. So, like, but I had freedom to go outside and play as a kid and, like, experience the world. It wasn't like I was kept in a bubble, because I feel like that's what happens to a lot of kids now, and always, but especially more now because of technology.
Especially us too.
Yeah.
Like, people learn about the world because of the news and shit. They watch the news. They're like, oh my god, the world is horrible. There's all these rapists, all these fucking all these kidnappers. All this programming. They were always there. You just didn't know about them.
Exactly. And just imagine you fucking turn off the news. Like it's interesting growing up and everyone's watching the news to know about what's happening in the world. When if they just fucking turned off the news, it probably wouldn't have happened.
The news gives you too big of a spectrum to look at.
Right. Because it's so distant from you, even local news.
Like you could live in a safe neighborhood and be scared because you're hearing about something that happens on the other side of the city you live in.
Right.
Like, and that goes beyond. You could live in a safe country and be scared because of something that's happening across the world.
Exactly.
And it's important to know, obviously. Like it's important to know, but at the same time, like, look at what's in front of you. Like if you don't see that happening in front of you, then don't punish your kids.
You can't fix the whole world if you don't fix your community life first, your own life.
Yeah.
Your community, but your own fucking life first.
Well, your life is part of your community.
Yeah, I know, but you gotta fix you first before you go fix you. Then fix your environment.
Clean your room.
Then fix your fucking
Blase.
your relationships. then fix the community, then fix the city, then, you know what I mean? Go in fucking steps. Everyone now wants to save the world. Like, how the fuck you gonna save the world? You're not gonna know what to do. So just start in steps. Save yourself, save your house, save your family, save your loved ones, save the community, and then that builds, and then that expands.
The person that wants to save the world is the guy who can't fucking keep eye contact with you when you're talking to him because he's like shy. Like, come on, man. Like, fix your own problems.
Right.
The same guy that fucking, I don't know, won't clean his room, wants to save the world, wants to worry about what's happening in the Ukraine.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's mental illness, bro. Like, I know, obviously, like, this is obvious, but, you know, America has a big mental illness problem. Obviously, you know, social media, I feel like, is a big part of that, too. But, you know, everyone's just not mentally well, so you can't expect them to be physically well or emotionally well either, because those things tie into each other, because we're one unit of several different formations with several different aspects and different energies. So it's not like we're just one static. Like, you know, we're constantly in flux. We're constantly changing. Some days, you know, you feel more physically active. You feel more energetic. You feel like you don't want to do shit some days. You feel like, and that's just physical. You could be emotional. Some days emotionally you're really happy and you're like, oh, fuck it, fuck negative opinions, fuck bullshit, fuck this, fuck that. And then some days you're like, damn, like, I'm like that. You know, you just feel, you're like, damn, I feel fucked up.
Some days somebody tell you like, yo, shut the fuck up. And then other days they'll tell you, but like, yeah, you're right, I should fix that.
Exactly.
And it could be the same thing.
And the same person too. It just depends on the energy, the context.
Some days my mom would be like, oh, you don't clean your room enough. And I'm like, ma, shut up. Like, obviously, I don't say that. But I'm like, ma, shut up. I don't care. And then other days I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to go clean my room right now.
I need to go fix my life. And then some days you just on the fucking
Some days you just
toilet.
pissed off.
Yeah, taking a shit. Falling asleep.
I had that the other day. I took a nap and I woke up. And I was like super sad. I don't know why.
You know, I feel like it's time, because I feel like that sometimes too. And I feel like, damn, like I took a nap. I enjoyed the sleep, but I missed time that I could have been conscious.
I don't know the reason. Like, I don't.
Yeah.
I just know the feeling I had when I woke up. It was like,
well, maybe that's the subconscious reason.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to know the conscious reason because you're just out of sleep. So, yeah. But it's also a thing of like, it's interesting because it's spiritual, but there's also the neurochemical scientific explanation, which is like you were sleeping, your body started to go into REM sleep, into the stages of sleep. There's 4 stages of sleep. So your body started transitioning, and then it got brought out of that state. So naturally that disrupted the brain cycle.
Yeah, my sleep was like an hour.
Yeah. I love how you can look at things like that. It's like, it's chemical because we're chemical beings, but it also, there's more to it.
There's spirituality to it.
Right. There's more to it as well. But it's interesting because those things coincide. People think magic and science are the opposite. No, they're really the same thing, just in different forms.
Yep. I woke up sad and started listening to Frank Ocean, which is a bad move because that just made me more sad.
Right. You know, and then that's the crazy thing is like you could just wake up, listen to whatever the fuck you want.
No, that was sad music though. Like I was sad and I listened to sad music.
I know, you know, but did you do it as an intentional choice?
Yeah, I was like, damn, I'm sad. I want to listen to some Frank Ocean.
Be in the sad vibes, right?
Well, sad vibes are great though, like music wise.
Yeah.
Obviously it's not good to be sad.
No, of course.
But like, oh my.
But you know what?
Sad music is amazing.
That's not a bad thing though, because you had an emotion, and you chose. Let me write out these emotions. And let me face this.
Yeah, you didn't try to deny it.
You weren't like, oh, I'm great. I'm sad, but I'm happy.
I'm not sad. I'm happy.
Right. You were actually trying. That's it. You're actually trying. To just go with the flow and just vibe and just feel like, okay, I'm feeling like this. I'm going to feel like this. This is where I'm at. This is where I need to be. There's a reason I'm feeling like this. I'm not just feeling like this because, oh, it's random. you know, I'm feeling like this is the state I'm in. Let me ride out these emotions and maybe I'll learn from them.
Yep.
Because even negative emotions are learning experiences.
And I ended up talking to someone else later on, and they cheered me up. So it worked
See,
out.
you see how things work out, man.
Yep.
It always works out. Well, unless you go in the opposite direction. It's you could say, oh, it's coincidence, it's this, it's that. But I just genuinely, from what I've experienced in life, things will go your way. Just do the right shit.
Yeah. I told her. I wasn't afraid to tell her either. I told her, yeah, I woke up and I was pretty sad. It's like, oh, why you sad? That cheered me up.
Yeah.
Someone caring.
Right. See, and people will care and things will start to happen and you'll make connections, but you need to, it starts from within. It starts with the self-love. And I'm not just saying, oh, like, it's because I make it sound so simple, like, oh, just care about yourself, do simple shit, you know, but it's really true, like cleaning, cooking, like boring shit you don't want to do, wiping your ass, shit you got to do, you know what I mean? Like, you have to do it. It's not fun, but it's work on yourself, and when you do it you feel better. You might feel shitty in that moment, but you'll feel better overall in life, because that's just the way our brains work, man. Torture, pain becomes pleasure, and pleasure turns into pain. It's a conversion. It's an energy cycle. It's like you feel pleasant, and then the next day you feel like shit because you were here. It's like a roller coaster. You go all the way up here, but then gravity says you gotta come all the way back down here. You can't fucking keep going up and up and up and up and up.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
You really just look at life. Life is just a few sparse moments of intense sadness and intense happiness. But in between all those, the majority of it is just neutrality. You're just going about your life. I feel like.
Yeah, exactly. Like the tedium of it. Because,
you're not going to be happy or
right,
sad
not every day is going to be a fucking spectacular show.
That's okay.
Not every day is going to be the fucking...
Some people think they have boring lives because they're not like at a party every day or something.
Right. And then there's the people that do that every day and that hate their lives, that are just drained. Looking for something better.
They don't know they hate their lives until they stop doing it.
Yeah, but then it's so weird too, because when you're not in that life and you see it, it's like attractive in a way. It's like I wonder what that's like.
Because they look like they're having so much fun.
Yeah, they look like they're having fun.
And you're like in your head, you're like, you've associated with, you go to a party, you have a lot of fun. So that person's doing that every day. They must be having
right, and they're going in groups and there's all this people, all this activity, and all this energy,
all these friends they're laughing with, but in reality, that those friends are just someone that they happen to see on the street someday or at another party, and they only know them by their first name, and that they like to smoke weed. They smoke weed with them and other friends, so now they're going to parties.
Right.
Some crazy shit happened. Somebody I know, she works. She's a bartender, right? And she went out with her coworkers, and when she was out, she obviously got drunk. And what happened was some random nigga, bro, like talked to her coworkers and was like, oh yeah, I'm her friend, and then they all ended up getting in his car, and something happened to her, bro. And then she woke up and she was like, I don't remember like how she knew it happened, but she was like texting them like, oh, what happened? Why was we in the car or whatever? And they're like, oh, blah blah blah. And the coworkers were like mad suspect. They were like, oh my god, that's so crazy. Oh my god, like what? Why are you should be horrified right now.
Yeah, well, to be fair, they were probably really drunk too. And they probably don't want to get caught up.
I mean, I guess.
So they feel like, look, because from their perspective, they're so fucked up that, oh, a ride home? Wow, that's like you put a pot of fucking gold and a rainbow in front of me. You know what I mean? Like you put the fountain of youth in front of me. It's like, wow, that's such an opportunity. You're going to take me home? And then they go home and then, someone gets violated. And afterwards, everyone's like, oh, that happened? They're fucked up. They're like, oh, what do I do? And it's unfortunate because they could have stopped it.
I think it's just
but they were so caught up in the energy and the emotion and the drunkenness and not being sober of mind and vigilant.
But there's also the fact of like when the texting happened, they were sober, you know, and it's the way they responded to it, you know, like word choice is very important.
What was it after the fact?
Yeah,
exactly. They knew something happened. They don't want to get caught up.
I guess.
Which is bad because they should take responsibility. They should be like, you know, if I knew what was gonna happen.
It's not even that. I'm not trying to like say, oh, it's their fault that it happened.
Right.
You know, I'm trying to say like when you're like let's say someone you know, right? Like that happens. Let's just hypothetical that it happens and you're there and everything and they're telling you and you're remembering, you're like, oh yeah, I fucked up, right? And even if you don't want to get caught up, you don't have to say like, oh, that it was my fault, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah. So like, would you be like, oh my god, that's so crazy that happened, oh my god, that's wild, with skull emojis, using emojis and shit? Like, would you respond that way?
That's because people have no emotional understanding or sensitivity.
Yeah.
And I know I say people, it's like, who are people? But a lot of the general population exude the trait that they do not care, or they put on a facade of caring about other people, because a lot of people are inherently selfish, and there's nothing wrong with that because it's human nature, it's animalistic nature to be selfish about your own human desires and also survival, because we're animals, right? But we're also more than that, and we can also use the beings that we are, because we're beyond this three-dimensional body, to connect and really go out there and say, okay, let me care about another person, because even though they're not literally me, I'm not literally controlling them, and they're not literally having my same experiences, they're within my reach. They're within my control in the degree that I can influence them and help them and talk to them and, you know, be something in their life that makes their life and experience better. Because ultimately we're all one. We're all here sharing this experience. So why would you make it tougher? You know what I mean? Why would you, if you're going through a hard time, you don't have to put someone else through a hard time. Get through your shit. Someone else is having a hard time too. Help them. Maybe you guys can help each other, and then you won't be having hard times. You know what I mean? But everyone's like, you're having a hard time, I'm having a hard time. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, everyone just wants to be toxic. But it's like, yo, let's work out our problems.
Yeah.
Sorry if I went a little off trail with that. What were you?
That was related.
Yeah, you were in, but you were talking more about like fake people, which I guess I touched on.
They are fake.
But it's just like a lot of people.
Personally, the way I view it, they're fake.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fuck with them.
Yeah, it's just something. It's not something that you can equate to any particular like she said it like that. Like, no, you just feel it, their energy, and you hear their inflection of the voice and the way they speak, and you just feel it like, oh, you're bullshitting.
The girl wasn't like destroyed over it, you know? Like she wasn't like,
well, as she shouldn't be, because she wasn't destroyed. She learned. Hopefully she
wasn't
learned.
like she wasn't like
she can do better next time.
Yeah, she wasn't like, I can't trust anybody. I can't. Oh my god, everyone's fake. Blah blah blah. You know, she
at least she fucking learned that.
She handled it very well.
At least she learned that.
Who had that happen to her.
Right.
You know. But and even it's okay. It's perfectly understandable for someone that went through that to be irrational about it.
Of course.
Yeah. Hope that guy gets shot though, because the guy has all the blame.
Yeah, man. I mean, it is what it is, man. As fucked up as it is, it's what happened.
Could only hope
you can't go back in time. Exactly. You don't even need to hope it though, because when you wish it, it makes it more like you intending bad on someone that will receive their comeuppance regardless. So it's like the universe is already signaling the negativity in his way. Like, you did this, okay, your punishment's already set. But when you wish bad on them as well, it sort of creates negative karma in your direction too, because you're saying, I wish, this bad thing happens to them. You're wishing bad on someone regardless of whether they did bad or not. You're still like acknowledging it and giving it your energy. So, but that's why it's better to just leave it, fuck it, don't feel any particular way about it. That's where it's like, you know, the philosophy of stoicism. You know, you don't have to be like a perfect, that's got to be complete stoic and no emotion, but use that. Like, you know what? Life fucking happens. Fuck that guy. He's getting his either way. But when you hope and you wish and you intend, it's only lowering your energy because you can be focusing your energy on better things. That guy, he's not helping himself. Like, he's not getting help. He's gonna get what he deserves, bro. Just fuck him, and that's it. And move forward. Just keep moving forward, man. Because when we get stuck on negativity and negative people, we don't move forward in life. And money too. Like, we're talking about money, keep money going. We get stuck in negative money spending habits, so we don't move forward with our money. And that goes for anything in life. We get stuck in negativity, so we don't move forward. Move through the negative and use it to fuel the positive, to fuel change and growth in your life. That's what I feel.
I agree with that.
Yeah, man.
All right.
And you know what, though? It's okay, because you have emotions. You're human.
Yeah, I got angry about it.
Right, of course, bro.
How can I
and
not?
that's fine. But just learn to use the experience of the negative emotion to learn from it. Why am I feeling like this? How could I use this to fuel what I'm doing? It's for something positive, instead of it just circling and being negative.
Yeah. If she's cool with it, then, you know, who am I to be like, no, you shouldn't be cool with it. It is what it is.
Right.
You know?
Well, I mean, she shouldn't be cool with it.
No, not. I mean, I don't mean cool with it.
Made
Like
peace with it.
Yeah,
is more.
that's
cool with it.
Sorry, my words were wrong.
Yeah,
there.
but I get what you were saying.
Make peace with it. Be at peace with the situation.
Because you have to. Anything in life that happens, you have to make peace. Even death is like, you just have to make peace because it's part of life, man. It happens. Shit happens. You never know. That's why we gotta use what's in your control. People think they have no control over their lives, but they actually really do. Just do the simple things. Start with the simple things. Treat yourself right. Self-love. Self-care. Don't feed into bullshit.
Be nice to others.
Be nice to others.
Help
man.
others.
Thank you.
Boom.
Boom.
We're done.